Hello everybody, and yes, this is about Satisfactory. E3 is over and that's all I can think about, that's all I can do, and I've seen this trailer now about 5,000 times or more. But yeah, I just want to discuss everything that we see here. Obviously there's not gonna be any sound because yeah, that's prime copyright issue things, although my channel is not monetized. But first, okay, 3D, we can see that, in different biomes, even in water. Even in water, we can have belts going over water without using landfills. Well, cool. What's this? Well, I think that's basically from the top view as it goes up. This belt goes up and these go in a different way up. This goes a little bit up, this goes straight, but this goes all the way up. So we have 3 levels underneath here at the very end, which is awesome. And now we have multiple designs, basically developers showing off. That's cool. So this thing, this must be a splitter. This moves in this direction from left to right and has the yellow indicators. These have the green indicators here and they go out. You see the indication of the arrows here? This is obvious and this obvious here, but in motion it's also a bit obvious, and this is also obvious going this way. So things come in here and then they come out on these 3 things. Is it splitter? Is it logic? Is it how we control it? I don't know, but this makes very good sense that this is a splitter and it may have already inbuilt logic. We can see it better if you just see it once it's being moved there. You can just barely see it. Anyway, something flew over. What it was, I don't know. Is it lights? Is it an animal? Does it move? I don't know. Anyway, walking around and roaming, and we have our thing here that says fix it, because yeah, you're working for a company that's called Fix It. So moving on, there's a needle here that goes up and down. Actually, I am on the highest setting, so I don't know why that's not very good. There it is, there's the needle, and we can see it here with nothing, and then sometimes we can see it here with everything. But many biomes, and as we have seen, and then this animal thing that flows about, and there's this animal thing here, and this thing that looks like a plant but it's standing up, and this thing that attacked you. Let's look at them full speed. Yeah, anyway, that is, I don't think that is a scanner. This scan must be something else. It is an ability that you can map, I believe, because this thing is used later in the video to show that this is basically your command, your constructor, if you like. With this you build stuff. Maybe it has a secondary ability, could be, why not? But this motion doesn't really show anything. Anyway, it's scanned and these things get dropped. For what reason these things get dropped, I don't know. Basically, is it indicating something like minerals? Must be. But again, we're not shown very much of this later. We'll see. And now this is, you see these things here? This is a veins. These are veins here, so this basically indicates that this is an iron patch. And this is the miner that you build, and then it comes up and starts going down. This is an iron patch. See, these are the veins. So that's how you get iron. How you get them out of it, no idea, it doesn't get shown. Of course, at the start you have to pick them somehow, and that's by hand. So this is the hand. And that's the constructor. Fix it, strap on with 2 buttons, so maybe it does have another operation. Now here comes an interesting part. He's gonna build something. There it is, moving it around where we need to, and build. So now as he builds it, things start flying in. See this? And this comes in. I don't know where they come from, but this indicates an inventory of some kind. Global inventory? Your own personal inventory? Could be, who knows. And then this gets built like in a cross section. The cross section gets up. Anybody who's played Total Annihilation will be very familiar with how this thing is being built. No surprise there. And there it is, built. And it gets colored. Awesome. Some pistons here that I don't know what significance they hold. But anyway, this is basically what you first use to build stuff a little bit more advanced or better could be for some recipes that you cannot build in hand, or it could just be with giving you better construction time. Or yeah, anyway, this is you building stuff, and that's something you build. I don't know what it is. Doesn't seem to. It's showing you various things. This looks like a lamp. Yeah, it could be a lamp, or it could be a thumper, for all I know. But the next one is basically just, yeah, your chainsaw. No longer hacking at trees with axes. Nope, chainsaws. And this is multiplayer. 1 to 4 players multiplayer. You can have that. And by the way, why these avatars are women, I don't know. But yeah, multiplayer is awesome. That's the character, and this has also jetpacks. So is jetpacks supposed to exist from the very beginning, or is it just, yeah, some god-like avatars that they created for the demo, for the trailer, and then release them on the world? I don't know. But basically, this is them just going about town and clearing everything very, very fast. Now, massive information in this one. First of all, pylons. This does seem to indicate that the pylon has a reach. There are no cables to be seen anywhere. It doesn't connect by cables, so I don't have any indication of how that will be. The ghost of the buildings themselves have their power source there, so that's indicating that this thing has this power source. This is a pylon on its own, so to further transmit the power across your factory, obviously. And then the blueprint has an in and an out box, so you know where for the factory it is. And they're building them, and as they build them, they materialize, as we've seen. These belts have materialized full. I don't know why. I don't understand it, but okay, sure. And it continues building. This building gets moved around a lot. This, I don't know, this building here. This moves around a lot. And we're gonna have to move back. I don't know what that is. There are cables. Okay, there are cables. There are cables. Okay, there are cables here. So there are cables that are connected, so you do have some indication. Okay, I didn't actually see them. Every time I've seen it 5,000 times, and I still haven't realized what this is. Anyway, this looks like a solar panel or communications satellite. Does look like a microwave antenna. I don't know. Why would you have it in the middle of your base? No idea. Anyway, let's go back, because we need to see more stuff. Notice now there are lights. Purple, green, blinking, blue. Green here. Again green, but then this is purple. And purple, and now green. Why? What changed? Is this indication of power? Is this indication of operation? Is it multiple indications? Could be. Green means I have everything I need, I'm fine. Purple means I'm here, I have power, but I don't have anything. Could be anything, I don't know. What else? Of course, we should have noticed by now that the conveyor belts can be at any angle. And yeah, power pole here, cables all over. This is purple, but this is blue, and this is blue, and this is blue, and this is green, yellow, green. I think it's green. Green, blue, and purple. These are the states. It could be multiple indications, as I said before. And there's that. It's weird how they materialize without being shown exactly how you build them, because that's you see later. Anyway. And a vehicle. The first vehicle we see. And it's a lifter, which is weird. We have airplanes now moving things across. All this should be cargo. And this just goes to the base. That's going to be very interesting to see how that is accomplished. We're going to have airplane cargo now. Okay. Now some blueprints for the, well, it's not blueprints, some ghost placements. Again, with the boxes about from in and out of that. You can see there's the lightning symbol here indicating this is where the power is going to come into this building and out, propagate somewhere else, obviously. The sizes are varied, like look at this mother, wow. And This is also long and kind of tall, so who knows what that is. And this is the pylon, very different. And this now is a very nice indication of how you build the belts. You have placed everything. They're purple, by the way. So what goes on? These are the ore for stone, I think. This looks like stone. It could not. Maybe it's not, because it's clear ore. So let's see. Right. Let's go slowly. So he has built now. He basically goes to the start, like moving. He clicks here, and then he will move it to there. Move there. He got it. And now that's ready. And next, move it there. It's very slow to see, but basically, yeah. See, it's all move, click, then as you click, it tries to hold something to hold the ghost. It's like ghost placement for trains. And he clicks, and I missed it again because it's YouTube, so anyway, that's getting a little bit weird. There, that's coming into himself. He has placed it now and it's on himself. That's why there's a weird curve on the sides. And there it is. He's moving it away now, and that he clicked it, moved it from here, and now this is going like that. But it's an illegal placement, so he's gonna go further in and there. As he's moving it to bring it here, and now he's brought it. This is a valid one. He builds it. Cool. This is also important. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 iron plates. It's iron bars, rather. So there's already some stacking going on. If you have a recipe that requires 1, then all this goes in, and then it just waits because it has already filled with 8. Notice also that there are no inserters. Nowhere in this video will you ever see any inserter. And the things come out in lumps of 5 and go on. This is awesome. Vast network of belts. This comes here, this here, this here. This is a 3-layered, you know, this first layer, second layer, third layer, and on top above us. And that's just power propagating through the factory, and keeps on going all the way until you can't even see it anymore. This is gonna be big. Huge factory. Power going everywhere and coming out of factories and going into factories. And you have a yellow and you have a green. So there's 4 colors now. You have yellow, you have green, you have blue, you have purple. And all of those mean something. Green obviously will mean that I have everything I need and I'm working fine. Yellow, I don't know what the warning of some kind. Purple has to be that I'm not connected to power though. To believe that. And blue might be I have power but I'm not working because I don't have materials. I don't know. Find out, I guess. Moving on. Look at this. This must be like, this reminds me of pieces of cable with their insulation on the outside, and then in the middle they have the core for the cable, and then below that, that's what, cloth, plastics. It's blue. Why is it blue? Who knows? We don't see anything else further inside, but that's already 3 layers. There is something else here below that. Okay, that now we have the next build in the next vehicles. This also has remote controlled vehicles, not just trains anymore. Now you have planes. We saw the plane. Now here come the buses, basically the freighters. You have remote controlled freighters. These will be programmed according to your specification, and it's not just one type of freighter. There are multiples. You'll see, and I suppose you can drive them all or most of them. This now comes into load. This is a big grabby thing, claw, but that will move in and then take things from it. As you come in, there it is, it moves in and it's gonna go in and take stuff. So that's an outpost, that's a loading station. It's a warehouse basically. So it has a warehouse, warehousing. That's cool. How many exits does that have? Who knows? We don't know. So, see this guy, this is one of the freighters, and this guy is driving it. And there is one freighter, a big one, and here's the train. The train, a bit here with the graphics, but I don't care, who cares? Anyway, this is magnetic levitation. The train is coming into its own unloading station. Again, bigger clothes for the trains. And notice it's a monorail train basically. There, with these being the suspension magnetic pads. Yeah, that works. And there it is, going in. Yeah, cool train, cool train. Okay, woo, big one, big base. This might be nuclear. The big chimneys going on, yeah. Could be steam, but it's most likely looking like nuclear plants because the game does have nuclear plants. Notice the deep here net of belts going in and out with multiple levels of factories. This is another thing that we're going to see also. This has multiple levels of factories. Not only can the belts have multiple levels, but the factories can be built in multiple levels, which is insane. Things come in here and then go into that. From that to turn into something else, and from that to turn into something else, and they keep on going. Massive here things are going in various directions. I love the fact that this is just not locked to a single direction, so you can have multiple directions. This is insane. This is going to be so nice to build. This building is, as I said, a freight, but this building is different to that building. And the train comes in, but notice that, where is it? This building. This building is not driven by somebody like that. And you can actually just about see it. There's nobody there driving it. So that also can be automated, and it's going to here. So you have one type of this, and I think this is a different type than that. Well, it may not be. No, it seems the same. They have the same two humps here with the same shape. Yeah, no, these are the same. 1, 2, 3, these are the same. These could be different, but I don't know. I can see that good. But that's a human here. This guy here is like a human, and you have these buggies that you can drive yourself. And these things here are storage space for you to carry some stuff like, I don't know, weapons, ammo, something, I don't know. Well, the only weapon so far that's been confirmed is a rebar gun. We're gonna see later. What else? Yeah, you drive the buggies, you drive the mini freighters. Let's see them go on. Yeah, and that's the cargo space opening up. There's not really much to see in that. Some tools, maybe that comes up. Then a little bit of a tool would be the access panel program interface, but that also looks like a mini storage space. Anyway, yoo-hoo, yeah, that's driven, cool. What else can we see here? That is the same as I said with this, and then again we see that it's the same view from before. So we see this now not driven by anybody. This is just alone. And multiple levels. As I said, here's one level, here's another level, and here's another level, and here's a fourth level. All of this is 4 levels of factories. You can finally truly build 3D. Amazing. Yes. This central is to be revealed later what it is. We're gonna see what it is a little bit. The big gates here that you can see inside, as this is a big hexagon thingy. Stuff going on inside it. A lot of traffic. And it's also interesting to see that this has depth of field. Is that going to be in the game, or is that basically for cinematic effects for the trailer? I don't know. How will you define depth of field? Wherever the center is you're looking at, and then everything else is blurred? I don't know. That's obviously too much speculation for our needs right now. There's a guy, typical guy for reference, scale, head, body, feet. Entire network, belts, some things. Okay, building, multi-layered belts, multiple things, and this is the rebar gun basically. It's not looking very good. Okay, from above a view now, which we can also see again the belts going off without any really too dense support structure, so that's also good. And multiple entries, multiple exits. I mean, yellow, 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 yellow. I mean, 2 entries, but then green and green, 2 exits. Seems reasonable, although it also goes from here. I don't know anymore. See, this is moving that direction, so that goes in, but that also goes in. So why is that green and that's yellow? Don't know. That's interesting. Unless that's the shadow. The shadow may make it green, but when it's not, it's actually yellow, like that. That's more likely explanation. Yeah, this is yellow and that's green. So that is obviously different to that. Yeah, yellow is still in and green is out. Okay, sorted. A big power central here, some kind of glowing orb. Who knows what that is? And yeah, some things on the line and a cute little thingy. Bigger view, human for reference. You see this belt starts from here and goes, still no support, and then here is the support. The first support is here, so all this time there is no support. Does that mean that this can go for very long without needing to have a support? Maybe that's going to be a consideration. Or does it mean that you can go forever without support, and if there is any opening, I will place support? Probably the first one. It's not going to be that laxed, will it be? No. Anyway, these things go up and down on these pistons here, these 4 pistons. Why above it's like that? I don't know. Maybe well, there's a staircase here, so you can climb up it and walk on the grid to have an overview of the factory. Cool. But another thing to note, look at the products on this belt. This 1, 2, 3, 4, but then 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, not a very good representation. The other one had a better one. Where is it? There it is. Move, move, move. Here. 2, 1, and then 5 and 2. There is no consistency on the belt. What does that mean for production? Why is it set up like that? Is this just inefficient, or is this a limitation of the belt system? Why would it... If you imagine Factorio, this would be completely difficult to process, unless you have to split it somewhere else, and then we couldn't split it unless we have filter inserters, but we don't have filter inserters in this game, so we need to be able to split them by product in order to give them somewhere appropriately. Because if some recipe requires 2 and 1, for example, and then we give it 2 and then it's full and cannot take any more wood until it waits for the other thing, then you know what I mean. It will block and not continue because it has all the wood it needs and can store, unless it has massive storages, but even then it's completely inefficient. I don't know why this is like that. I'm guessing it's just for looks right now, maybe. Also, why is it taking sheets and producing lumber? Who the hell knows? No, it's not. Because a sheet came out. A sheet came in and a sheet came out. What the hell? Well, that's the recipes. We cannot guess about the recipes at this point. Sheet comes in, yeah. And there's another sheet coming out. And what else? This is another representation of how these belts and these factories are going to handle with quantities, because this is just 1 box of bolts. This thing is 1 box of bolts. How many bolts the recipes need, who knows, but metal bars come in and bolts come out. So that's how you create density inside those factories and those belts. And you can see it by the way they move. They go in step motion, and there's even some overlap here. See here, there, this box came into that box, so it cannot go anymore. Create a vacuum, but yeah, inside. So the belt will stop until because there is nothing to provide it here with anything else. Massive smelters and massive network of belts going on up, and a row of power signal lights and power poles. Everything's working. Look at that. 1, 2 levels, and then look at the density that you can have for belts. This is one belt system. I don't know the station of it. Yeah, no, I do know. There it is. It's climbing up. It's coming from somewhere behind, and it's going up and up one level, and up one level, and then up. So what does that tell us? That tells us, and I'm willing to bet on it, that there is a specific limitation how what angle of ascension you can have on the belts, which makes sense. I don't know, you cannot give it a 45-degree angle on a belt and expect the things not to roll down, so you have to have a specific rising level. So you build that to raise them up, and then you can raise them gently up as much as allowed and bring them in here. Although that is kind of a steep angle, so it may not be that as much. But again, I think that indicates that there is a maximum ascension angle that you can have on the belt. Anything else I can see here? Not this time. Well, these, I don't know why these are in this color. This is just a color that's creation. And then enemies. This is the rebar gun you have. Rebar gun is basically you take a rebar. That's a steel rod that you use to increase the structural capacity. No, I'm not saying it right. When you build a concrete wall on its own, it's rather brittle, so it doesn't take too much to break it completely down. Talking about buildings, obviously, not humans breaking concrete, but concrete on its own would not support that much. So you put inside it some specially crafted iron rods, which are called rebar. And that's what this accepts as ammunition. You take a rebar inside it, it grabs it, and then shoots it out as a projectile. And that's the rebar gun. And these are spiderlings inside a cave that attack you, and there are too many. So I don't know how that works, but that's obviously enemies. So it has enemies. The game does have enemies. These are attacking you, so it has these enemies. Jesus. Harry Potter. You kind of have to deal with it. Did we see any automated defenses? No, there is no automated defense. And what the hell is that thing? That thing is shooting out these things at you. What are they? This is the rebar gun again. This is the rebar. This thing here. And then once you press this and she shoots that. Jesus Christ. That's a big boss. I don't know how we handle that. And we're coming up to the end of the video with this huge thing, which is the end. Now, this thing here, this entire structure on top, it's going to rise. That's going to be what changes the perspective. See, this gap is increasing, it's going upwards, and more and more. Even this, you can see it from there. See, you understand the motion? There, it's going up. Where is it going? Here. What is that thing? That's the end of the video. Yeah, that's the name of the game. That's the end of the video. Come on. There. There. That's what I want. What is this? Well, I think that's a spaceship. Simply because this structure here, and this structure, and this structure, and this structure seem to me like engine exhausts. This thing is just building a spaceship up into the atmosphere, maybe further up, and maybe just being extremely massive. This does seem like a space elevator. Makes sense. But unless that thing is up in orbit, then yeah. But even games ways, yeah, game logic. How massive can this be? It can be extremely massive to keep you busy. Why not? But I don't think that's just sitting on this thing. This is not that strong. I think that thing is in orbit and is just immense. But I do think these are exhausts. So the ultimate goal is for you to build a spaceship. Why? I don't know. The lore of the game is basically that your company, the Fixit, has sent you off to an alien planet. You're an engineer. You go to the alien planet and you build something. It doesn't say what. You can go to satisfactorygame.com and read up on the FAQ. You can read up on the lore. It doesn't say that much, intentionally, obviously. And it's hiding it in very good lore, saying, yeah, it's presenting it to you like part of a briefing and saying I could tell you some things, but then I fear for repercussions and losing my job. So yeah, it's stated like a very cool guy, not going to tell you anything because yeah, I need this job. We don't have a release date. Obviously, I think everybody knows it by now. Read the FAQ, it's on the website. If you fill in your newsletter, if you fill out your email for the newsletter, that automatically adds you to the alpha of the game. The alpha is coming in the next month. The intention, as stated in the FAQ, is to have it released this year, but they don't promise anything. They're going to release it when they are pleased with the state of it. And that's all I can see from the game. Let's look at it one more time, full motion. Because of course this is just so cool. Having belts that can go in multiple levels and any angle is just cool. This little dude, flying thing, looks like a living thing actually flying over, which is scary. Fix it, that's gonna be the scanner, I think. Yeah, and think here, what is that? Build your first miner, that's awesome. And gather things by hand, everything. Build your first construction thingy. Go inside that and build your first advanced set of tools. That's the rebar gun. That's something else. That's your chainsaw. Clear out. Start building insane things. Vehicles. You have flying cargo. Ornithopters? Why not? We'll call them ornithopters. Why not? Dune? Okay. And production lines, up and down levels, deep, too many levels. God. And the freighters, awesome. There's also some guy flying at some point, somewhere in this video. Well, not flying, jumping with a it has a jump jet? Jetpack, basically. Jump jet. Jetpack. Buggies, freighters. That's gonna help with exploration, obviously. And it's gonna be so much easier to drive than Factorio. Jesus, I cannot drive in Factorio. Hello. Alright, flying. Dude up. Massive lines. Rare materials, big enemies, and the spaceport. Yep. So super excited for this game. Well, hope you enjoyed that. Hope you found something new. Glad to know if you see anything more that I don't. Hope to hear from you. And take care. Keep safe.